If you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company. Do you think that I count the days? There is only one day left, always starting over. It is given to us at dawn and taken away from us at dusk. I'm going to smile, and my smile will sink down into your pupils, and heaven knows what it will become. Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. It is up to you to give life a meaning. Better to die on one's feet than to live on one's knees. Freedom is what we do with what is done to us. 3 o'clock is always too late or too early for anything you want to do. Everything has been figured out except how to live. There may be more beautiful times, but this one is ours. All that I know about my life, it seems, I have learned in books. Like all dreamers, I confuse disenchantment with truth. The more sand that has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it. Smooth and smiling faces everywhere, but ruin in their eyes. It is therefore senseless to think of complaining, since nothing foreign has decided what we feel, what we live, or what we are. I am going to outlive myself. Eat, sleep, sleep, eat. Exist slowly, softly, like these trees, like a puddle of water, like the red bench in the streetcar. I suppose it is out of laziness that the world is the same, day after day. Today it seemed to want to change. And then anything could happen. Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself. Only the guy who isn't rowing has time to rock the boat. We do not know what we want, and yet we are responsible for what we are. That is the fact. People who live in society have learned how to see themselves in mirrors as they appear to their friends. I have no friends. Is that why my flesh is so naked? Nothing happens while you live. The scenery changes, people come in and go out, that's all. There are no beginnings. Days are tacked on to days without rhyme or reason, an interminable, monotonous addition. Man is condemned to be free. Condemned because he did not create himself, yet is nevertheless at liberty, and from the moment he is thrown into this world he is responsible for everything he does. The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth. As far as men go, it is not what they are that interests me, but what they can become. As for me, I am mean. That means that I need the suffering of others to exist. A flame in their hearts. When I am all alone, I am extinguished. To know what life is worth, you have to risk it once in a while. The individual's duty is to do what he wants to do, to think whatever he likes, to be accountable to no one but himself, to challenge every idea and every person. Life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal. I exist. It is soft, so slow, and light. It seems as though it suspends in the air. It moves. I never could bear the idea of anyone's expecting something from me. It always made me want to do just the opposite. Existence is prior to essence. Your judgment judges you and defines you. Once you hear the details of victory, it is hard to distinguish it from a defeat. Perhaps it's inevitable, perhaps one has to choose between being nothing at all and impersonating what one is. It is only in our decisions that we are important. To think new thoughts, you have to break the bones in your head. I wanted my own words, but the ones I use have been dragged through I don't know how many consciences. I'd come to realize that all our troubles spring from our failure to use plain, clear-cut language. I am not virtuous. Our sons will be, if we shed enough blood to give them the right to be. Every existing thing is born without reason, prolongs itself out of weakness, and dies by chance. Better to have beasts that let themselves be killed than men who run away. My thought is me. That is why I cannot stop thinking. I exist because I think I cannot keep from thinking. He is always becoming, and if it were not for the contingency of death, he would never end. Neither sex, without some fertilization of the complementary characters of the other, is capable of the highest reaches of human endeavor. One could only damage oneself through the harm one did to others. One could never get directly at oneself. One cannot become a saint when one works 16 hours a day. I can receive nothing more from these tragic solitudes than a little empty purity. Evil is the product of the ability of humans to make abstract that which is concrete. Existence is not something which lets itself be thought of from a distance. It must invade you suddenly, master you, weigh heavily on your heart like a great motionless beast, or else there is nothing at all. Once freedom lights its beacon in man's heart, the gods are powerless against him. Most of the time, because of their failure to fasten on to words, my thoughts remain misty and nebulous. They assume vague, amusing shapes and are then swallowed up. I promptly forget them. Generosity is nothing else than a craze to possess. All which I abandon, all which I give, I enjoy in a higher manner through the fact that I give it away. To give is to enjoy possessively the object which one gives. Total war is no longer war waged by all members of one national community against all those of another. It is total because it may well involve the whole world. Man is not the sum of what he has already, but rather the sum of what he does not yet have, of what he could have. Acting is a question of absorbing other people's personalities and adding some of your own experience. If a victory is told in detail, one can no longer distinguish it from a defeat. One always dies too soon or too late. And yet, life is there, finished. The line is drawn, and it must all be added up. You are nothing other than your life. I think that is the big danger in keeping a diary. You exaggerate everything. A lost battle is a battle one thinks one has lost. You must be afraid, my son. That is how one becomes an honest citizen.